Today we are talking about scene number 97 in WatchMojo's top 100 best scenes of all time. This is the Parasite scene, the movie Parasite, where the family discovers that there are people living in the basement. Now, this movie is difficult to break into just this one scene, and this one scene is very difficult to find overall. The reason why this scene is so important to the film is because it really does this. Parasite does a really good job of breaking the film up into all of these things happening in a way that's very exciting, and it keeps you wanting to watch. Like, it should be studied from a structure perspective for sure. But I don't really have a great clip of the particular scene in question, except for one that's in that does not have subtitles. Okay, so I'm gonna still break this down, but we're not gonna break down that exact scene. I'm just gonna talk about Parasite in general, and then about why that scene is so critical without being able to watch the scene, which is a little bit of a bummer. But the important part is that this poor family has decided that they are going to take over a bunch of roles, and they do so in sort of a conniving way. They kind of cheat other people out of jobs in order to work for this rich family. And the rich family is seen here, they're going away for a weekend trip, and the poor family is kind of like, hey, look, they're not going to be home, we should just go sleep in their house and hang out in their house. And so this whole movie has been building up to this is rich family. They have a bunch of servants working for them. One's a driver, one's a housekeeper, one's different things. One's a teacher, like a mentor teacher for a kid, tutor kind of like. And they've all taken over these positions, and this family's kind of getting comfortable in their new roles, but they only got these new roles because they were, again, kind of cheating people out of the situation. So one of the things I think is really stunning about this, and we'll watch a little bit of it right now, is the cinematography is phenomenal. So this is the wealthy family leaving, and this is the housekeeper who's the mom of the other family. They're all pretending not to be a family, by the way, but they're all related to each other. And one of the things that I think is very stunning about Parasite is the cinematography. Like, even just look at that shot, right? Like, we don't know that the family has invited themselves over to stay in the house while the rich family is gone. And so the reveal that that's happening, first of all, this is pretty striking because she's laying on the couch instead of doing any work. So she's getting very comfortable in the house. But then the reveal of the fact that her husband is also there. Now, he's the driver for them, so he's not supposed to be there. But the reveal that he's there is pretty stunning because it's kind of like, what are you guys doing? And then we learn that basically the entire family is relaxing at these rich folks' house. And okay, so the cinematography is phenomenal. The way the story structure itself is phenomenal. After this scene, the scene that reveals that there are people living in the basement, the former housekeeper whose husband has, I guess, mental issues of some kind, or physical issues as well. He's living in the basement of this house. And so what's being revealed is that other people are, I don't want to say taking advantage of the rich people, but they're definitely hiding things from the rich people. These people are hiding that they're a family. The other former housekeeper is hiding that her husband is living in the basement. And she's, of course, really worried about him because she's not the housekeeper anymore and she has to take care of him. So she has to figure out a way to get in the house. And so this all unravels because as they're just like impersonating the rich people and living this kind of rich life, other people are kind of suffering as well, right? So, and again, the cinematography is brilliant in this. The directing is just phenomenal in this. I got a chance to go with a friend of mine, Josh Taylor from Modern Mouse. He and I went to the Academy Museum. He's a really big fan of the Academy Museum, and I hadn't been there before, which is a shame on my part for not ever going there. He and I went to the Academy Museum. They had a whole thing about Bong Joon-ho, and it was amazing. Like, the guy does a phenomenal job. This is probably the first I love scenes in this film, but and some people consider this like one of the best movies of all time. For whatever reason, it didn't resonate with me as much as it resonated with other people. However, I love the directing. I love the cinematography. So it's really a fantastic example of how you can utilize camera movement, blocking, framing. Some of the framing in this movie is just so top tier. It's unbelievable. One of the scenes that I think is great is a super scary scene actually, when the boy of the rich family believes that he's seen a ghost, but it's really just the guy that lives in the basement who was sticking his head up out of the basement. It's terrifying, but it's like perfectly done. So again, love the blocking of these scenes. It's obvious too that like these people aren't supposed to be here. One of the really interesting things that happens in the basement reveal scene. So this all plays out because the former housekeeper comes to the door. She convinces the family to let her inside. She runs down to the basement because she's got to check on her husband who hasn't been able to eat or anything because she was the one giving him food. She runs down into the basement. The camera follows her down to the basement. Great shot. And then this family learns that there's people living in the basement. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. At the same time, and this is really well done too, from a story structure perspective, the rich family has decided to come home. And so the whole movie is playing with these really, really interesting themes, right? Of what does it mean to be wealthy? What does it mean to be poor but working hard? What does it mean to be a good person versus a bad person? A lot of like craziness there. It reminds me almost of a Jordan Peele film, honestly, when you're playing with you're telling a story that is inherently sort of creepy, but at the same time you're playing with societal rules and norms that make it more poignant. So this is scene number 97. Let me know what you think of this scene. Let me know what your favorite parts of this scene are. Again, it's not the exact same scene that I showed because it happens right after that scene, but I just couldn't find a great example of it on YouTube. There was one example, but it was kind of short, and it wasn't a high resolution video, so it's kind of a bummer. But do you like Parasite? Do you think that this scene should be at number 97 on the top 100 best scenes of all time from WatchMojo? Leave me a comment. Let me know. In the meantime, tomorrow I'm going to be back doing another scene. We'll talk about scene number 96, and hopefully you enjoy that process. But feel free to ask questions too, because I'd love to answer some of those questions. Sometimes when I'm breaking down the scenes, I can't see the comments. So if you leave a comment, I will address it on the next show. So be sure and leave me a comment. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and end it there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.